he never goes away.
No, he never does.
Everyone thought he was done.
He keeps coming back.
"Here I
Russell
come
Crowe,
with-
baby.
I gained weight, but here I am.
Here I am with the worst Italian accent I could ever think of.
For real.
He sounded like
It was terrible.
He sounded like he was from Olive
I
Garden
didn't think
Italian
it-
accent. He's
I
like
didn't-
unlimited the break and the steaks.
It took me a while. I was like, is he Italian in this movie?
Yeah, I was like, what
hold
accent
up.
is he doing?
Hey,
Hey, what's going on? This is Terror Talk
bang, bang, bang.
with a 3 instead of an E.
Ooh,
And
woo.
we're here to give you a fresh and hot, pretty late review for The Pope's Exorcist.
It's not even in the movies anymore.
It's not even in the theater
My
anymore.
mother was like, hey, I would like to see that Pope movie. I'm like, yeah, they kind of took it out.
It's gone.
So, no.
Yeah, The Pope's Exorcist is a new movie. Not in the theater anymore, so you got to wait till DVD.
It was, though. It was.
It was, and we did see it in the theater.
Yes, we did.
Pope's Exorcist is a new movie by Julius Avery, as the director, and starring Russell Crowe.
Big dog.
Big dog, baby. Wait, Julius Avery, just to give you context of what the film is about, because the movie's pretty goofy. It was the director of Overlord. Remember that movie?
Yes.
It's about the Nazis versus experimentation monster zombies. Not a big fan of that movie.
You hated that movie.
Yeah, it's the problem is it's tonally shifted.
And unnecessary stuff.
It starts off very, very serious, and then it gets really, really goofy. like you're so serious, like it's so like a World War II movie, and it's really like taking itself very seriously.
Yeah.
Then you have a whole bunch of zombie monster werewolves coming out of nowhere, and you're just like, what? And then one-liners, and it's
Isn't
just
there like an
come on.
unnecessary grape scene too?
Yeah. There's some in there. Yeah, there is. And
For
it's
like
just
for no reason.
Yeah, for no.
I remember I saw that part. I was just like, why
Yeah,
is
it's
this?
like, why is
What's
it-
going on?
Yeah, it was like it's really disturbing, and then it tries to be fun.
Yeah,
like,
it's on
no.
Tubi too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. But that's the director. I think The Pope's Exorcist is a little bit better movie. Looks like Julius Avery is improving on his craft, and it stars. This movie stars Russell Crowe as the Pope's right-hand exorcist man.
Yes, it does.
He handles all the exorcism cases.
I think we pissed some people off in the movies though when we were
Why?
watching.
Because we were laughing too
Yeah.
hard.
There was some parts you just had to laugh.
You
There was
had
this
to
whole
laugh.
part where he's like taking off his hat slowly, like you were expecting
Yeah.
like a mohawk or something.
Yeah, he
Or
introduces
like
himself.
orange hair or something.
There's a
crazy.
guy that's being possessed in a barn, and then he comes in and he's like, we need
Yeah.
the Pope's exorcist. And then he comes in like, it is me, the Pope's exorcist.
Yeah,
It's
and you're
the
like,
worst accent.
okay, this is the me. Yeah, I've heard
And he had
better
like a
accents
fresh
than Olive
cut.
Garden,
Yeah,
right?
he has an Olive Garden accent.
Yeah,
like
he
I was
definitely does.
He's unlimited the bread sticks. I was like, what?
Sir, would you like the Tour of Italy I recommend with the
Yeah.
Italian and cream soda?
We give you the Italian cream soda. I was like, yo, who? I was like,
Like,
well, who taught him this accent? He just didn't give a shit. He was giving all.
Not to give away too much parts.
Give
of
it
the movie,
all the
but
way. Give it
first-
all the way.
The first possession that he did was
Yeah,
funny though. With
that
the
was
pig.
the one. The pig, yeah.
He's like, very nice pig.
Yeah,
I,
he's like,
I was expecting
"It's
him
a
to start
good pig."
squeezing. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
okay.
it's like, all right.
I've never heard that comment before. You're walking by a pig. That's a hey, that's a nice pig.
Yeah.
That one right there, it's a good one.
Good pig right there. Yeah,
Good.
so he goes in there, exercises. He's the Pope's right-hand man. So
Yeah.
what they establish in this movie is the Pope's exorcist is the right-hand man of the Pope, right? He goes in there and handles all the exorcism cases that they get.
All the dirty ones.
Now, 90% of them, they established this early, that 90% of these cases, or 99% of these cases are BS. It's
yeah,
just
it's all
psychological.
psych problems.
Psychological problems. So he goes in there and finagles them and finesses the situation and smooths it out for the church and their reputation. But he's like, every once in a while, there's something that's a little bit more sinister. It takes a little bit more gusto.
So now we come to this family, which for some reason their father passes away.
Yeah.
They inherit this house in Italy.
Yeah.
Or was this-
No, Spain.
In Spain.
In Spain, yeah.
Like a castle.
A castle. And they're renovating
And
it.
they go in no
Yeah.
details about who this dad was.
No.
Right? Or why the fuck does he have a castle in Spain?
No.
right?
Why do you have
And
that?
the kids don't look to be thrilled. If
No,
I
they're
had to
pissed.
be moved into a castle in Spain, I think I'd be a little bit thrilled. And they were young too, though.
They were young. Yeah.
We
And
have a teenage girl.
yeah.
Well, we assume she's teenage, right?
She's like teenage. Yeah. She's like a
Yeah,
little
she-
older. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
teenage. The boy's obviously
The
a
boys are
little
like
boy.
very young, and then they're going in there. They're renovating the place. They got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of people renovating the place.
There's another part we laughed at.
Yeah, we're
remember?
just laughing at the entire movie. Like,
So
like,
they smelled gas, right?
yeah, like they're renovating. They go in the basement and they start smelling gas. So what's the first thing you do when you smell gas? Light up a torch.
A fucking flare.
No, light up a flare, and then it blows up. And they're like, "Oh, we are not to go." Oh no, I'm doing the Italian accent. they're Spanish, they're Spain, but he's like, we're not doing this anymore. We're getting out of here.
But they were like pissed about it.
Yeah,
they
were mad.
Hey, there was a gas leak. We smelled that shit and we lit a fucking flare.
Imagine that.
And they got burned. That's your
Yeah,
assholes.
imagine you hire like a plumber, to fix your plumbing in your basement, and then he smells gas, and the first thing he does is light up a torch, and he blames you for it.
Yeah, he gets burned and he's mad at you about it. Like you're like, well, who told you to do that?
Sure, this movie wasn't made in America. Like, everybody's suing each other. But so they move in. The kids aren't thrilled about it.
Yeah, especially the daughter. The teenage daughter, she's very
and the
nice.
kid, the person that gets possessed in this movie is the little boy, right?
Yeah.
But he looks possessed from the beginning,
Yeah.
right? He's already possessed. It seems that he is
super skinny. He looks pretty ill. Like
he looks ill.
He's been possessed for like a month.
He's been possessed for a month, yeah.
You know.
And he's sitting there, and he was the unfortunate part about the kid was that he was in the car when his father died.
Yes.
So he saw his dad die, and he hasn't spoken since that moment.
Since then, yes.
So we're assuming that the demon attached to him due to the trauma that he was experiencing at that time. It was easier to get inside him, per se. But he does look possessed right from the beginning. You're like, this kid's definitely possessed. And if you've seen the trailers, you're like, yeah, that kid, that's the one that's possessed.
And it's funny about like these movies that people get possessed. When you look at the actors or actresses, you could tell who's going to get possessed.
You already can tell, yeah.
Like, this guy will look good as a demon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's got
always
that
like
look.
The skinny dude
Yeah,
or something like that. They never like possess like a fat guy. like, it's never like a big fat dude.
What's up with that? Yeah,
they
like
never possess
like
fat
a
dudes.
morbidly obese guy.
Yeah, like why
big,
not possess like a really big fat
like my
dude?
600-pound life. Those would be the person to be possessed.
Yeah, because they're already depressed. They're
Yeah.
already like in a weakened immunity state, in a
Yeah.
weakened mental state. Yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
person you possess.
Yeah.
But I guess the demon wants to move around and hang out. Like he's gonna be
true.
stuck in a
I
wheelchair.
mean, someone can walk.
Yeah, but not well though. But like the demon is like
You wanna be
the demon like
go to like Target or something like that.
Yeah.
Go to Target.
I'll go to
possessed.
Target in my like, yeah. But like the demon makes like the person do all kinds of extravagant
Yeah.
things. Like why can't he make the fat guy like do jumping jacks and stuff?
Or like make the big guy like lose insane amount of weight
Yeah,
like in 1
yeah.
second. Just,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I would be like, yo, that's crazy.
Yo, I got a quick story about that. Like I'm watching Exorcist with my dad, right? So my dad is like, "Yo, man, this movie is one scary film," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "Man, you know what makes it so scary?" I was like, "No, what, Dad?" He's like, "You know what? Because it could happen to me." And I'm like, "Oh, it can happen to you?" I was like, "You think a demon from hell is going to possess a 70-year-old black man with bad knees and high blood pressure in America?" He was like, "Wait, you have to put it like that." I was like, "I think he's going to pick a different vessel. First of all, you're black in America. Strike one. Number two, you're old. You got bad knees. Like, how much damage could this demon do?
I know.
If demons come to America, I'm going to possess like a politician or something."
Do you think they get to be picky though?
You know, that's
like
funny.
the whole process. Do you think it's like them going to the
Yeah.
DMV to get a new license, right? You think demons do the same thing?
No, I don't.
But hey, you got this kid in this weird farm.
No,
and like,
I don't.
shit,
I don't
you
think
know?
they beggars can't be choosers. I don't think they can pick because. And what's cool about this movie, The Pope's Exorcist, what I want to commend the movie for is they address that because.
True.
In the movie, Russel Crowe questions it. He said, "Okay, if you're a demon, why would you possess some poor kid in the middle of nowhere? What does that accomplish?" He's like, "I want to destroy a soul." He's like, "All right, buddy. Okay. Why wouldn't you possess a president or a celebrity, somebody that has influence?" And the demon didn't have an answer for it. Like it's like, but because I think it has to attach to somebody that's in a weakened state. It takes time. Yeah.
Because even he asks his questions. Oh, if you're you're Satan, then how come you can't tell me my name or tell me something that you know this and that? And it seems like the demon. Or there was one part with the drawer open. And he's like, "Do that again," and then he couldn't. Yeah. And he was like, "You see, I don't think you're possessed because if you could do."
Russell Crowe had a lot of swagger in the movie. He was like, "Man, listen, I'll do whatever I want."
He rode that moped.
Yeah, he rode a moped. He had a fresh cut. He always had a fresh Caesar.
And they made sure they got enough shots of him riding a moped.
Oh, he did. He was a quirky priest. And then,
but do you feel like they needed that? Like after one moped scene, I think it's safe to say that's how he gets around.
Well, we had to know that he was in that moped. You know,
he was quirky. Like one scene. You know the scene on Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Where they're parting ways, Batman and Catwoman. It was like that, but on a moped. He's just like on it for a minute.
Like you had to establish
him. Going there.
Like they tried to make him like a superhero, sort of like type of thing. And then part of the story is that before we get to the possessed family, the church is having a reputation of exorcisms and stuff like that, and then the hierarchy in the church don't want this anymore because it makes them look unattractive to like people coming in.
Well, they say that the younger people don't believe in
that. Yeah, so they're like,
and there was one young guy, right?
One young guy. Like, how do you get that job?
He's like 22.
He's 22. He's like telling all these people what to do.
Of all the popes or something like that.
It was crazy, and then they were like. So they're trying to oust him out, because they're like, that's an old school way of doing things. Church is changing, people's minds are changing. We need to stop all this nonsense. Yeah. But the Pope's exorcist, Russell Crowe's like, man, F that. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
He's like, evil does not sleep.
Yeah.
He says something like that.
You go away from the breadsticks.
He's like,
primavera.
You cannot stop giving soup. Unlimited soup.
Unlimited soup and breadsticks.
You cannot. The young people don't want the breadsticks. I'm like, no, yes they do. Just put it on the table. You see how fast it disappears.
The croutons have too much carbohydrates. So they do that, and then the Pope
I'm craving that breadsticks from all
I want that too. But the Pope is like, nah, man, you're my right-hand man. We're cool. I got a special case for you. And the case is the little boy that gets possessed in Spain. He goes over to Spain. He meets up with a younger priest.
Yeah.
And they...
Who looks like a Zemo from Marvel?
Yeah, he does. He looks like that dude, yeah.
From Inglourious Basterds, the Russian guy on the sniper guy.
Yeah, he looks like him. Yeah, he does look like him. Yeah. And they go up...
I kept thinking that was him. I was like, is that Zemo or whatever? Zebo, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, Zemo. Yeah, and then they team up and try to help this boy out. Yeah. So when they go there, they go to Spain... And they meet the demon for the first time. Russell Crowe's a little taken aback because this demon seems to be a little bit different from the other ones.
Yes.
Because he starts to know a lot of things about Russell Crowe.
Especially his personal past.
Like, he knows a lot about him, knows his name. And Russell Crowe's like, hold up. I think this is a real demon this time.
Yeah. The fact that he, like, threw up a bird or something like that, remember?
Yeah,
no,
bird.
That was later on, but I think a bird.
A bird from his past.
Yeah.
The same bird that was in his past. Yeah. So... Russell Crowe has a dark past. The other priest has some secrets as well. And then
some dirty secrets.
Hey, man.
Some yummy ones.
Yo, listen, his secret, not bird.
I was like, bro, I don't blame you.
We were in the movie, and we thought, because he's talking about, like, the demon is very acting very sexual with them.
Yeah, and he was grabbing
he's grabbing the mom's breast. Like, he's
like, ooh, boobies. Did he say something like that?
He's like, give me some milk. You're dry. It's like, he's a very sexual demon. So the other
boob guy though.
Yeah, very. He likes a lot of things. Just put it that way.
He's just very all about the boobs.
Well, not quite. He's all about the Russell Crowe too. He makes a lot of sexual threats in the movie, and he does.
Yeah,
But besides the sexual, he sexually threatens Russell Crowe's character, like, in a way that, like, is like, sounds kind of like a good time. But the younger priest has some sexual secrets, and he's like hinting at it. And then I remember in the theater you said, like, yo, what if he's a child molester?
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that would have been crazy. But the movie doesn't have the balls to go that way.
It did kind of touch on some of that stuff.
But
we'll get to that later.
We'll get to it in a second. Yeah, but it's not quite that. But he knows some of the sexual things he had in his past. And you were thinking, like, oh, maybe he's a pedophile.
Yeah.
And that would have been an amazing twist, I think.
Yeah, because it would have been an honest take. Because, obviously we know.
We have our problems.
There's a lot of problems. I thought, I don't think that would have been cool, but I'm just saying, like,
no, but it would have been
had they picked that subject.
They would have had some balls to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they picked something where you're just like, could you blame him?
Like, hell no, I could not shit. I'm talking about that girl that he was.
So he's like, he gets involved with. He has a consensual relationship with a woman, right? And he's not supposed to because he's a priest, and he considers leaving the priesthood. But when you see this woman, you're like, listen, I can't blame you.
Shit, I'm about to be a priest too. But like, oh no, I don't want to be a priest anymore.
I might have to give it all up. I might have to.
I'm like, and you're giving it up. I'm like, so just give it up. You probably would have had a happier life.
Yo,
he got fucked up in this movie too.
Who?
That priest.
Yeah, he did. He got beat up.
The possession stuff in this movie reminded me so much of, like, wrestling.
Yeah,
people going through walls.
They would go through walls. Yeah.
Do you know, like, the fight scenes from They Live?
Yeah,
it's very drawn
out.
Yeah. It's actually like Warriors. Someone's going through a fucking wall, or like somebody's just picking somebody up.
He would get smashed. Like, he would get messed up. And when you see, like, the woman, like, because later on in the film, I'm jumping ahead real quick, but later on in the film, the demon manifests the woman and turns into, like, a spawn demon, like, to attack him. And I'm sitting there like, She alright.
She was naked too.
She was butt naked.
And I was like,
they got the thickest.
Hey.
They got the thickest. Like she's like this woman. They got like a really thick, like a thin slick one. She's like really thin, but she's thick. Like
let's say 13 ghosts, right?
Yo, but super thick.
But
thick. They got like a thick one. I couldn't even pay attention to the movie. Honestly, I was looking at we were in the theater, and I was like, why did they make her so thick? Why is she so thick though? Like,
you know what this movie? The funny thing about this movie, it started off.
She had a fat ass.
Yeah, it started off a very like typical
serious
possession movie.
Yeah, it did.
And then
it got goofier and goofier,
and it just got like wild.
It just got crazy.
And, like it was just like there was points that we're just laughing because it was just funny.
It was just ridiculous.
Like that part, did she have to be that hot?
Yeah, she was so hot. Like
and
big boobs, big ass, and then she's running around like I wouldn't be able to fight that thing naked.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh no.
I'd be like, oh,
man, just like
that, I would have been gone. I've been dead. I'd be like, Russell Crowe, this is where I die in the movie.
Like, yo, you just gotta say no. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry.
All you have to use is the power of no.
I'm like, so weak right now.
I can't. So yeah, they made her super hot, and I think the movie's rated R, and I think it's only rated R because the violence isn't that over the top. It's not.
I think it's from that one scene.
It's from the sex. It's the boobs.
Yeah,
because she's butt naked in that movie.
Yeah, it's straight up
full frontal.
I mean,
covered in blood. But,
covered in blood. Yeah. But they did zoom in on her a couple times, and I was just like, "This
super thick."
She looked cool though because like she was thick. Like blood all over her, and it was.
But wasn't
cool.
it like distractingly thick?
Yeah, no, it was like thick, very
very nice.
Yeah, it's very exaggerated.
Very exaggerated.
In terms of, very much like
they got like
everybody were like, yeah, I got
yeah,
you
were like, I got you right there. You know, priest, it's okay. But
now had they gone the pedophile route,
that would have been
then that would have been a child
because now
that would have been terrible.
He's a pedophile.
You know what I'm talking about? Like instead of that girl, it would have been the kid.
Child?
Yeah, but I'm saying it would have to.
Yeah, maybe not. But would they? But if
the tone of the movie at that part would would be just what?
No, I walk out. But if he was a pedophile,
horrible.
But if he was a pedophile, like if they made him a pedophile, not just like a regular guy, like do you think they would have enough? Like, would Russell Crowe be able? Like, could they reconcile enough in that situation to fight the demon, or is that over for him? Like,
well, I mean, in the church terms, they will have to forgive him.
They have to forgive him, but is it forgivable? It makes it too complex.
I think.
Right?
I think had they gone that route, it would have been nice to see like a little friction between these two.
Right.
Because when I want to jump again, it was very much like Men in Black.
Yeah, it turned into Men in Black at the end. So it gets so ridiculous.
Take Men in Black, right?
Yeah.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, but just exorcism. Yeah. Take out aliens.
It starts off as like the Exorcist.
That's his recruit, you know.
Yeah,
like,
his recruit, like his agent.
It starts
off
on the
sunglasses. It turns into Blade, and then it ultimately ends up becoming Men in Black.
Straight like they. Oh yeah, well, we'll get there. I guess.
But it gets super crazy in the end. It's just ridiculous things after ridiculous things. So Russell Crowe is trying to essentially figure out like how to stop this demon because he's like, this demon is legit.
He has to find out the name.
And then they traverse this area. They find out there's a tomb underneath, and they essentially find out what's going on.
And that's where that gas leak was coming from.
Yeah, the gas leak, which is a natural. It's sulfur, so it was like a direct line into hell apparently.
And then there was like a priest who was possessed, and I guess he put himself in a cage.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get out. Apparently, this demon had a plant.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The demon. I like this part though.
You like that? That there's pretty much the demons. All the fallen demons were buried in specific places around the world, and this demon's trying to release the certain pits.
Yep.
So they could come onto the world.
Yeah, and they want to infiltrate the Catholic Church.
Correct.
In order to dominate the world, they want to infiltrate the Catholic Church one priest at a time.
My master plan.
Yeah, master plan.
Which they had a map of.
They had a map. Yeah, they want to infiltrate it so they can pervert the word of God and make it in their own way. Yeah, which is interesting. I like that.
But what another funny part of this movie was the Pope.
Yeah,
because they kept showing the Pope, and he's just like
who's played by Django, by the way, not Jamie Foxx, the original Django.
But he was dying for like an hour.
He was dying
throughout the whole movie. He's just like, and they kept cutting back to him. He's just like that again. I'm just like, and he's in the hospital. I thought he died.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die, but that was like,
and then he just goes, he goes back to life. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is he
and
dead
apparently
or not?
This movie is a true story. Like that's the best part. They're like,
based on
they give the real guy at the end, and they say, oh, he did all these things. He died at this time.
He shot a pig in the face. You know?
I'm like, this is a true story with him.
That story was very true.
Yo, so look, Pope's Exorcist is a really fun time. It's fun. It's so chick your brain out the door. It's dumb, but it is fun.
Yeah,
like we had a good time watching it. We were just cracking up the entire time.
It's just funny how certain parts are not supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
but it is.
It's still
delivered
funny.
that way as a
and there's
comedy.
like a good mix of like practical stunt work and CGI.
Yes.
Like it's decent the amount of stuff they do in the movie. Like the I think they did a good job. And you know, it's carried by the gravitas of Russell Crowe. He's still a good actor.
No,
so,
he is.
Like, he's so good. Like,
but
even
like
in
it was,
schlocky
he was
stuff.
a fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny how like there was in the beginning of the movie, he's an alcoholic apparently, right?
Yeah, they don't.
So he's like, oh, this is for something, and then. He's sober. He just got off a fucking moped, drove for like an hour. God knows how long. He goes to drink his flask and just spills it all over his face. And I'm like, okay.
Was that supposed to be in the movie?
He's just like, drinking like that. I'm like,
they're like, was this a part of the movie or like?
I'm like, okay, did we have to?
It's so silly, but like, it's more balanced than Overlord was. Like Overlord was like very, 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 very serious, and then it cuts off and becomes very, very goofy. I think he found more of a stride with this movie because it's like consistently goofy. Like, and also like it's not trying to scare you. It's not trying to be like super scary. It's just trying to be like a fun little ride. But it's elevated because the performances are really good. Like we have really good actors in this movie doing. I
have to agree. Like I think the mom was a great actress.
She's great. I love her.
I think I believe the priests.
Yeah.
You know. Even the ones that were like assholes, I'm like, hey, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, the black priest was pretty good. Like,
well, he was the one, he's like, I got your back, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he was like,
till this day,
he was the cool black priest. Like,
so he had Russell Crowe's back the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like,
I got you.
Oh, but anyways, to the end of the movie, possession's done, right?
Yeah, they get him. They get
the
demon.
They show that priest because he's gonna be part of the crew now.
Yeah.
And they literally walk into like the Men in Black.
It's like a Men in Black thing.
Like everybody's busy. You see them looking at crosses. Like
they're like, this is a piece of the original cross. Yeah. Oh, this is the holy water from the.
It's that exact scene where Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones go in that place.
All that was missing was those little aliens.
They're smoking cigarettes and stuff like.
This is a containment unit with all the demons we captured. Like it was just like it looked like they wanted to make it a multiple sequel. Like it ended up like being like an MCU movie at the end. Yeah. Like it was like let's make multiple ones. If this is successful, which it was relatively successful, I think.
Well, you know what it was? Yeah. I think it came out in the wrong time. Mm-hmm. It came out during the time where a lot of movies were coming out.
Didn't it come out the same day as Evil Dead Rise?
Yes.
Yeah. See, you're not gonna.
It just got washed out.
It get washed out. Yeah.
You know,
like if you took these two movies. I mean, look, if you would, if I could have go back in time and told myself like watch Pope Exorcist other than Evil Dead Rise, like
I'm gonna be real with you. I had a feeling about that. I had a feeling that I had a. Low key, I felt like Pope Exorcist was gonna be more fun watching than Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, it turned out to be more fun. Yeah, more fun because I guess because of expectations too, right?
Well, because the hype was so crazy on Evil Dead Rise. I know some people are like, "Oh, why'd you go so hard on it?" It's just the facts.
It's just facts.
You hyped it up to be the greatest horror movie of all time, and it really was one of the worst in the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah, it is. And we're gonna do at the end of the year, we're gonna do our top 10 horror movies of 2023.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's gonna wind up on my list. I don't think Evil Dead Rise is gonna wind up on my list.
I don't care how much money it makes. I mean, if you're you really want to watch a horror movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But you can't. If you watch all the Evil Dead movies, you can't really say this is one of the best ones.
No. But Pope's Exorcist, very funny.
Well, did you think it was scary though, Pope Exorcist?
No, it's not scary at all. It's not scary at all. No.
It's very. There were some moments where like, oh, this kid looks seriously possessed. Remember, towards the end.
Oh, the end when his face is busted up. Yeah.
But it was not scary at all.
Not scary. The makeup could have been better on the exorcism. Like no Exorcist movie. And there's some Exorcist movies I do like, but no Exorcist movie has been able to capture that same essence of the makeup from Reagan, from the original Exorcist movie, which is like. Come on, like guys, you could do better. Like,
yeah, I agree. I mean, this whole CGI nonsense. I'm like, just stop.
A little bit too much CGI, but they do some practical effects that are pretty cool in the movie.
Yes.
The effects are good. The sound design was really good too.
It feels like a detective.
Yeah.
Possession movie.
Yeah, like a
because
noir.
You're solving. You're solving.
There's a mystery. There's a mystery there.
Like the house has secrets.
Yeah.
But they never touched on the dad.
Never.
This guy inherits a castle, which is apparently where all the fallen, angels have been buried.
Maybe the sequel, Pope's Exorcist 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Didn't he die after this movie though? In theory, the Pope.
Oh, he dies, but like we could still follow him before he dies.
But
this takes place way in the past.
True. It's like in the 80s.
80s, yeah. But it's And he died in the 2000s, right? Like
I think he died 2000. Yeah, definitely before 2020.
So I mean, you could have a couple more movies if Russell Crowe's down for it.
I will watch it.
I'd watch it.
I think especially if they go that route with finding out where all the other fallen demons, are.
Because they say at the end they're like, we got some demons to exorcise, and they're going to hunt demons at the end. Like,
and then they had this map which is like hand drawn of like, oh, demon here,
there's a demon here, there's a demon over there. Like, what would you give it? It's a hard one to grade because it's kind of like it's not high art.
See, no, I don't know, man.
You have to grade it against movies of the similar ilk, You
see, I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. I mean, we did watch it super late, so
I was late as hell. I was tired as shit at the end of that.
There was one part I was just like,
I was starting to knock out.
Oh my god. I'm gonna give it a 6.8.
Oh, 6.8.
Because you know why? Because it was funny.
It's funny. It's fun.
It was a fun movie.
It's a good movie.
Like if I watched it at 4 p.m., I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah, I think like a casual audience would like this movie. I think that it's pretty good. And critics have been like 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
But audiences really liked it. So I'm like, this is like more to like the popcorn type film.
Yeah.
I'd give it like I can't go too high on it, but I'd probably give it I would say like a 5.9 out of 10.
Yeah,
it's good. Like it's closer to a 6. Like it's average. Like, but it's a little bit above average because it's so goofy and silly.
Yeah.
There's nothing really special that stands out about it, like except for that thick woman at the end. There's nothing really like that stands out that's like makes you remember it. But
we didn't touch on the pedophilia stuff. They kind of touch on that. Remember?
They do. Yeah.
They pretty much say how. They pretty much give this whole notion that possessions of priests are making them do bad stuff.
Yeah, which I
they didn't touch on what.
Yeah,
but I think it's implied.
It's implied, yeah.
You know what?
It's implied that
when
priests stray, it's usually because they got possessed. Because the demon's aim is not to. They want to possess a weaker soul, and then they want to get the priest to get there to get inside the priest.
Yes.
That's their main aim. Is not to possess. Like to corrupt a kid. They don't want to possess a kid. What is that going to do for them? Yeah. They want to get inside of a priest so they can spread it.
So that's why this demon wanted to get the Pope's right hand man.
He was like, let me get this guy.
Yeah, because this guy's the top notch of priests. And so they kind of touched on the whole thing, which I was kind of like.
Yeah, and they don't use this. I'm not gonna say which demon it was in the movie, but they don't really use him that often in movies. Which is cool.
That's true.
They don't really use. They use Baal. They use
It's always the same ones.
Yeah, it's always the same ones over and over again, or the devil. But they never use this guy. I was like, I was like, all right, different.
Unless you're watching like Supernatural.
Yeah, they used them all.
They used them all.
Yeah,
that's how like we know our demons and stuff like that. Yeah, Supernatural.
Yeah,
great show.
But I'd recommend it. Even if I gave it a 5.9, I still recommend.
It's a fun movie to watch. It's funny.
It's funny.
It's not. I think this is a perfect date movie.
Yeah.
Like if you have somebody you want to go out, want to test the waters on movies and stuff like that, you could not pay attention to this movie and still jump right in, and you're good to
anymore.
go.
But yeah,
well, movies at home,
At home, yeah.
They took that shit out real quick.
Yeah, that shit was
My
gone.
poor mom, she was like, I want to see this. I can't wait. And I was like, I'm looking. I'm like, ooh,
it's over.
It's it's not happening.
But let us know below. What do you think of the Pope's Exorcist? Did you like it? Did you see it?
Are you not gonna watch it?
Yeah. Let us know what you think about that thick ghost at the end. How thick was she? Am I exaggerating? But if you like this video, click that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for more horror movie reviews, discussion, analysis, and everything horror related.
Yes. Press it right there.
Boom. Smash it. And that's Terror Talk out.